Aries. Aries symbol. There is some tendency for people to bring up touchy topics in the first half of the day, dear Aries, whether unwittingly or not. While it can be a little messy, addressing problem areas could end up working in your favor. You could learn much about yourself, and self-honesty is at the heart of this. Your emotional manner is more profound than usual much of the day, but later today, you see the value of letting things go and moving forward. With Venus currently transiting your solar 5th house, you have an easygoing, peace-loving approach with friends and lovers these days. Still, you're quite focused on comfort, familiarity, and safety in your heart for the time being. As such, you can seem like a completely different person to different people in your life, and this is especially prominent today. Radiating an expectation of success with people you love does wonders for you now, but so can some introspection. Taurus. Taurus symbol. Sensitive topics can emerge in the first half of the day, dear Taurus, or something you hear hits a nerve. It may not be intentional, but the result is the same, and while a part of you wants to ignore it and move on, another part of you finds it too hard to let it go. In truth, addressing the issue can work in your favor. Ultimately, you might get to a better place of self-understanding. Even so, it can be a good idea to be selective with words now. While creating surface harmony is a focus much of the day, later on, with the moon moves from your partnership sector to your intimacy sector, you're more interested in getting to the heart of a matter than scratching the surface or simply keeping the peace. With the sun in your communications sector these days, you can be especially curious, busy, and connected. But in your personal life, your focus is less on putting things out there and more on creating harmony. Making peace with family or creating a beautiful, easygoing environment at home is most important to you now. You are more invested in your relationships today, and it makes sense to approach your day with an open mind and heart. Gemini. Gemini symbol. With the moon's continued transit of your work and health sector much of today, dear Gemini, you focus on fixing problems and making sense of things. However, later today, you're inclined to prefer company as your focus turns to more easygoing pursuits. People can be especially sensitive in the first half of the day, and you might inadvertently open up Pandora's box. Uncomfortable topics can emerge. Ideally, it challenges us to put a grudge or insecurity behind us, whether these belong to you or someone else. Especially as the day advances, it can be a time for feeling encouraged and motivated to work on improvements in your personal life. Cancer. Cancer symbol. Your emotional focus on personal enjoyment, self-expression, and pleasure continues much of today, dear Cancer. Later today, however, the moon moves into your work and health sector, and you'd rather roll up your sleeves and get down to business. Overthinking is something to avoid now. There can be much sensitivity and perhaps some touchiness in the first half of the day with a Mercury-Chiron aspect in play. It may be best to choose your words more carefully. Otherwise, asserting yourself can mean you deal with the consequences. Ideally, if there are hurt feelings or frustrations, you can grow from them. While you seek independence in some areas of life, you're craving stability in love and your personal life. Mixed messages could result today. Leo. The moon continues to transit your home and family sector part of the day, dear Leo, and you are somewhat self-protective and withdrawn. Later today, you begin to feel more outgoing and confident about sharing yourself with others. You're naturally seeking more stimulation. While there can be some touchiness and sensitivity to deal with today, there's generosity with you now, which can win over our insecurities. Today's Sun-Venus minor aspect highlights your different drives and approaches to life these days. You are coming across magnetically with Venus in your sign, but part of you isn't ready for big decisions, and a lot is going on beneath the surface. You're friendly, but you're keeping a lot more than usual to yourself. Virgo. There may be some disconnects to deal with today, dear Virgo, but the work you put into correcting them can be worthwhile and rewarding. Be particularly aware of what you communicate and your own soft spots. It's also best to get the facts before committing. A Venus-Sun aspect today has a way of highlighting different needs, wants, and styles, resulting in some indecision. With Venus in your privacy sector, others don't easily see your softer side or learn your true feelings on many matters. However, you can find yourself on much of the time with the Sun in your social sector. Misunderstandings are possible if people see a more resilient side to your personality and don't recognize your sensitivity. Libra. Today's Mercury-Chiron square can tug at your doubts and insecurities, dear Libra, particularly about your ability to successfully get your message across or about what you know. It's a time to see how you might communicate in ways that work against you, and making adjustments based on these insights makes sense now. The day also has a way of highlighting the contrasts in your life, including your varied needs and approaches in different life departments. Venus in your social sector suggests seeking harmony and peace with friends, and you're in particularly good shape for rounding up support or enjoying your social life. However, the Sun is in your professional sector, and you're pouring a lot of energy into your goals. It's not easy to be fully present in either area today. Scorpio. The Moon continues to transit your sign today, dear Scorpio, and you're quicker than usual to act on your emotions. Life seems more colorful with this influence, and you meet the world more directly and straightforwardly. Later today, the Moon moves into your resources sector, and you're ready to settle in. While you start the day seeking some drama, you end it wanting to keep things even and predictable. With today's Mercury-Chiron aspect, people can be sensitive or easily triggered, and it's best to learn and be clearer than usual about your boundaries. Fortunately, there's a lot to enjoy or engage you today. Projects and ideas capture your interest. Sagittarius. The Moon continues to spend time in the sign behind yours today, dear Sagittarius, and you might need to take a break from pressures and demanding situations. Later today, the Moon moves into your sign, and you're ready to start fresh. You'll naturally come out of your shell. It's best to approach people with more gentleness. A Mercury-Chiron aspect in play increases our sensitivity to words expressed in the first half of the day. There can be some doubts to manage related to ideas and the ability to communicate your feelings effectively. Physical outlets for stress may be helpful. It's a good time to face those fears that undermine you, particularly feelings about not accomplishing enough. Minor misunderstandings can stick out today, but they can also lead to meaningful improvements. Capricorn. There can be crankiness and sensitivity to manage in the first half of the day, dear Capricorn. Discussions can quickly become a little messy, although they can be pretty revealing. Today's energies are on the indecisive side as you wrestle with conflicting needs and approaches in spots. You seek equality these days with the Sun in your partnership sector, but another part of you is more concerned with how deep a connection is than the surface dynamics of your relationships. Mixed signals are possible, but this also means you're tuning into multiple levels of a situation, and you can quickly adapt to changing needs. Later today, you're ready to pull back and take some time to yourself. This is due to the Moon's move into your privacy sector, a natural progression of the lunar cycle as you prepare for a new cycle to begin when the Moon moves into your sign on Wednesday. Aquarius. Your focus tends to be on goals and responsibilities, dear Aquarius, but later today, you begin to seek more freeing and enjoyable pursuits. With the Moon's move into your social sector, you need to take a break from competitive or demanding situations. Some conversations or interactions can challenge you to face certain insecurities today, mainly related to communication or knowledge. A Mercury-Chiron square can stir up touchy conversations, and a Sun-Venus aspect highlights different drives, needs, and approaches. You're especially concerned with keeping the peace and promoting harmony in your personal life and close relationships. Still, you're also very motivated to work and can be very busy getting things done. Pisces. The moon continues its transit of your sector of spirit and adventure, and you tend to set your sights high, dear Pisces. However, the moon reaches the top of your solar chart later today, and your thinking is more goal-focused. Emotionally, the need for structure is prominent. With a Mercury-Chiron transit, something communicated is taken the wrong way. News you hear pulls up conversations that you may not have expected to have, or there could be an uncomfortable interaction about money or boundaries. You'll arrive at an enlightened perspective, ultimately, but there can be some discomfort temporarily.